What if I told you that May 1st, 2025 isn't just another day on the calendar, it's the day your future starts shifting. Gemini, ancient astrologers, Buddhist masters, and timeless prophecies have long whispered about this moment. And it's not by chance it's for you. 6 sacred numbers are ready to open doors you didn't even know existed. If you're willing to listen, trust, and act, you were born to move fast, to adapt, to create. Yet sometimes your greatest strength, overthinking, has quietly become the biggest wall between you and your destiny. On May 1st, you have a choice. Stay tangled in hesitation, or step boldly into the abundance the universe has already prepared. Before we dive deep, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss any wisdom-packed guidance. And here's a powerful first step comment below. I welcome growth and harmony into my life. Setting that intention today aligns your spirit with the massive blessings already on their way. Gemini, your time is now. Let's begin. Part 1. Why May 1, 2025 is a turning point for Gemini. May 1st, 2025 is not just another date, it's a cosmic turning point, specially designed for Gemini souls. On this day, Mercury, your ruling planet, forms a rare harmonious trine with both the Moon and Venus. It's as if the universe itself orchestrates a symphony of energy, perfectly tuned to open doors that were once tightly shut. In astrology, a trine is a symbol of effortless flow. When Mercury, the planet of communication and ideas, aligns with the emotional depth of the Moon and the abundance of Venus, the path between thoughts, feelings, and real-world blessings becomes wide open. For Gemini, this rare alignment means one thing. It's time to step out of analysis and into action. But it's not just astrology that marks this day as sacred. From a Buddhist perspective, May 1st embodies what is known as the ripening moment, a period when the seeds of past intentions finally bloom into visible reality. Just like a mango tree blossoms only when the season is right, your efforts, dreams, and silent prayers are now entering their season of harvest. In the teachings of the Buddha, timing is not random. It is the interplay of causes, conditions, and readiness. You don't have to force your destiny into existence. You simply need to recognize when the wind is at your back and sail. May 1st, 2025 is that tailwind, Gemini. The energy you've been building quietly inside your dreams, your talents, your silent longings are ready to break through into the world. All you have to do is say yes. The question is, will you seize the wave or watch it pass by? Part 2, number 7, trusting the voice within. If you close your eyes right now, Gemini, and take a slow breath in, you might notice something quietly stirring within you. It's not a loud command. It's not a rational checklist. It's something softer, deeper. The silent voice of intuition. And that's exactly why number 7 is appearing in your path today. In both Buddhist teachings and ancient numerology, the number 7 represents spiritual awakening. It's the number of deep knowing, of trusting that which cannot be proven by logic alone. 7 is the whisper you hear when the world is screaming at you to be louder, faster, smarter, but your soul is asking for something simpler to listen. Throughout life, you, Gemini, have perfected the art of thinking. Your mind is a brilliant machine, analyzing, connecting, predicting. But number 7 is a reminder that not all the answers live in the mind. Sometimes the most profound truths are felt, not calculated. Let me tell you a story. There was a woman named Elena, a Gemini working as a strategic consultant in New York. She lived by numbers, facts, and spreadsheets. Every decision was vetted, analyzed, and confirmed through endless pros and cons lists. On paper, her life looked perfect, but deep inside, a subtle discontent grew louder. She couldn't explain it. No spreadsheet captured it. Just a quiet pull towards something completely illogical. painting. She hadn't touched a brush since childhood. It made no sense. There was no clear career path, no guarantee of success. Her mind resisted. Weeks turned into months of internal debate. Until one evening, walking home through Central Park, Elena saw a man quietly painting a massive canvas under a willow tree. No audience, no applause, just pure presence. And in that moment, something inside her snapped free. She realized she didn't need a full blueprint to move forward. She only needed the courage to take the first step. She signed up for a weekend art class that night. Fast forward 2 years, Elena now runs a thriving business selling soulful artwork to collectors worldwide. Her logical mind still serves her, but it is no longer her jailer. Her intuition, the voice she once ignored, became her truest compass. And it all began by trusting the unseen. The lesson of number 7 is clear. You don't always need to see the whole path to take the first step. In Buddhist philosophy, this is called faith in right view. It's not blind belief. It's the courage to trust that if your intention is pure and your heart is open, the universe will illuminate your way, step by step. The mind says, prove it. The soul says, feel it. Which voice will you choose to follow today? Gemini, you're being gently but firmly called back to your inner knowing. Maybe it's about a career move, a relationship decision, a dream you've kept locked away for someday. Whatever it is, the mind will beg for guarantees, but the soul, your truest self, already knows. So here's your invitation. Pause, breathe, listen. If your heart whispers yes, let that be enough. You don't have to wait for all the lights to turn green. You don't have to understand the entire map before you start the journey. Sometimes the first step is the map. Number 7 isn't just lucky, it's sacred. It's the universe reminding you. Your path is ready to appear, but only after you start walking. Part 3. Number 5. Freedom through change. Change. It's a word that excites you. Gemini, yet deep down, it can also terrify you. Because for all your adaptability and quick thinking, true change, the kind that asks you to surrender control, cuts deeper than surface shifts. It demands faith, flexibility, and a leap into the unknown. That's why number 5 is now standing at the gateway of your journey. In numerology, the number 5 symbolizes freedom, adventure, and dynamic transformation. It is the energy of movement, of throwing open the windows of life and allowing a fresh breeze to sweep through. And in Buddhist wisdom, this echoes the teaching of anicca impermanence. Nothing is fixed. Attachment is suffering. Real freedom comes not from clinging to the familiar, but from dancing gracefully with the ever-changing rhythms of existence. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named Daniel, a Gemini who worked as a marketing manager in a mid-sized city. Year after year, he stayed at the same job with the same colleagues, following the same daily routine. It was safe, predictable, comfortable, but not alive. He had dreams, big ones, traveling the world, starting his own business, living a freer life. Yet each time he considered a change, his mind whispered fear. What if you fail? What if you lose everything? What if it's worse than what you have now? So he stayed until life made the decision for him. One ordinary Thursday, Daniel was called into a meeting and laid off without warning. Gone were the paycheck, the security, the title. In the beginning, the fear almost drowned him. But slowly, something unexpected began to happen. The dreams he had shelved for later started resurfacing with a new urgency. Within months, Daniel began freelancing, then launched his own digital agency. Today, he works remotely from anywhere in the world, sometimes on a beach, sometimes in a mountain cabin, living a life far richer, freer, and more fulfilling than anything his old comfort zone could have offered. And he often says, losing what I thought I needed was the best thing that ever happened to me. The lesson of number 5 is simple but profound. Freedom doesn't come from controlling everything. It comes from trusting the flow of change. As Gemini, your quick mind sometimes tricks you into believing that if you just plan enough, prepare enough, you can avoid discomfort. But real growth, the kind that opens doors you didn't even know existed, only happens when you dare to let go. In Buddhist practice, the concept of non-resistance teaches this. The river doesn't fight the rocks. It moves around them, flowing stronger and deeper because of them. You are that river, Gemini. Stop trying to swim against the current of change. Instead, trust that every twist and turn is reshaping you into a more powerful force. Today you may be facing a decision. A job you've outgrown. A relationship that no longer nurtures you. An old dream that's whispering for a second chance. Your mind will scream for certainty, but your soul already knows change is not the enemy. It's the passageway to your next greater self. So here's your invitation. Say yes to the new adventure. Say yes, even if your hands tremble and your heart pounds. Say yes without needing to know exactly where the road leads, because the road doesn't have to be perfectly mapped for it to be exactly right. When you choose change with an open heart. When you leap instead of cling, you don't fall, you fly. And number 5 will be the wind beneath your wings. 4. Number 8, building foundations for true prosperity. When people talk about abundance, they often imagine a sudden windfall, winning the lottery, a surprise inheritance, a random stroke of luck. But true prosperity, the kind that lasts, the kind that nourishes not just your wallet, but your soul, doesn't fall from the sky. It is built, Gemini, brick by brick, choice by choice, moment by moment. And that's why number 8 now stands firmly in your path. In numerology, 8 is the number of infinity balance and material mastery. It represents the endless loop of giving and receiving, cause and effect, action and reward. And in Buddhist teachings, it aligns with the principle of right effort, the steady, mindful cultivation of seeds that bear real lasting fruit. Let me tell you a story. There was a woman named Teresa, a Gemini chef working in a small overlooked restaurant. For years, she dreamed of opening her own place, a cafe filled with warmth, art, and soul. But fear kept whispering, "You don't have enough capital. You don't know how to run a business. It's too risky." Instead of trying to leap blindly, Teresa decided to build quietly. She started saving a little each month. She spent weekends taking free online courses in business management. She experimented with her recipes, refining them until they sang. No dramatic gestures, no sudden breakthroughs, just steady, loving, deliberate steps. It took her 3 years, but one spring morning she opened the doors to her dream cafe. Today it's one of the most beloved spots in her city, thriving. Not because of luck, but because the foundation was strong. The lesson of number 8 is clear. If you want to build a life that lasts, you must first become someone who can sustain it. In this world of instant gratification, Gemini, it's easy to be seduced by shortcuts, but prosperity without grounding is fragile. It shatters under pressure. The universe doesn't just want to give you abundance. It wants to prepare you to hold it without fear, without collapse. And preparation doesn't mean waiting for the perfect moment. It means becoming the person who acts now, even when no one is watching, even when no one is clapping. It means clearing out old debts, emotional, financial, spiritual. It means learning the skills you'll need tomorrow, today. It means planting roots before you try to reach for the sky. Here's a reflection for you, Gemini. Where are you trying to manifest big dreams without first laying strong foundations? What steady practices can you begin today that your future self will thank you for? In Buddhist thought, Right action isn't about huge, heroic moves. It's about small, consistent deeds rooted in wisdom and compassion. You don't need to build a castle overnight. You just need to lay the next brick with presence, patience, and purpose. Because here's the deeper truth. Prosperity isn't something you chase. It's something you become ready to receive. So here's your invitation, Gemini. Stop waiting for the perfect wave to ride. Start strengthening your boat now. When you build from love, from purpose, from quiet discipline, not only will abundance find you, it will stay. Number 8 isn't here to test you. It's here to crown you if you're willing to do the work that matters most. Brick by brick, breath by breath, step by step, your foundation is your freedom. Part 5. Number 3. Finding joy beyond achievement. Somewhere along the way, many of us especially, you Gemini were taught that joy is something we earn. That happiness comes after the checklist is complete, after the goal is achieved, after the world applauds. But life isn't meant to be a finish line you crawl toward. Joy isn't the prize. Joy is the path, and that's exactly what number 3 is here to remind you. In numerology, 3 is the number of creative expression, childlike wonder, and unfiltered joy. It's the energy of laughter for no reason, dancing without choreography, painting outside the lines. In Buddhist teachings, it reflects the beginner's mind, the ability to experience each moment freshly, without layers of judgment, expectation, or attachment. It's the reminder that life's most precious treasures are often found not by striving, but by being. Let me tell you a story. There was a Gemini man named Oliver, who was a high-powered attorney in Los Angeles. From the outside, he had everything: a prestigious job, luxury car, high-rise apartment. But inside, he was a ghost in his own life. Every achievement, instead of bringing fulfillment, only sharpened the hunger for the next one. The next win, the next validation, the next, then I'll be happy moment. Until one summer a friend convinced him reluctantly to join a weekend pottery class. At first, Oliver resisted. "I'm too busy. It's not productive. What's the point?" But standing before that spinning wheel, hands coated in cool clay, something inside him cracked open. For the first time in years, he wasn't chasing anything. He wasn't proving anything. He was simply playing. He laughed when the pot collapsed. He smiled when his hands fumbled. He felt alive. That weekend didn't make him quit his job or change his entire life overnight, but it recalibrated his soul. He started carving out time each week for joy. Small pockets of freedom, painting, hiking, storytelling, cooking messy meals. And strangely, his career flourished even more. Why? Because joy wasn't stealing energy from his life. It was fueling it. The lesson of number 3 is profound. You don't have to achieve to deserve joy. Joy is your birthright, Gemini. Your mind is fast, hungry, brilliant. But sometimes that brilliance tricks you into thinking that fulfillment lies in the next mountain you conquer. In Buddhist thought, this is the great illusion that happiness is always out there, one more step ahead. But the truth is radical and simple. Happiness lives here now, inside you. You don't have to earn rest. You don't have to prove you're worthy of laughter. You don't have to chase joy like a reward. You are joy. You were born with the capacity to delight, to marvel, to breathe in the sweetness of life itself. And here's a beautiful paradox. When you stop chasing, when you start enjoying, you become magnetic. Opportunities, people, blessings. They're naturally drawn to the lightness of your being. Here's your invitation. Gemini, set down the heavy armor of constant achievement. Create without a plan. Laugh without permission. Rest without guilt. Dance in your living room. Sing badly in the shower. Write a poem no one will ever read. Let joy be both the journey and the reward, because life isn't asking you to be impressive. It's asking you to be alive. Remember, achievement may fill your resume, but only joy fills your soul. And when your soul shines, Gemini, the whole universe leans closer to watch. Part 6, number 11. Awakening to your highest mission. There comes a moment in every seeker's life. A moment when the old dreams no longer satisfy, when the usual victories feel hollow, when the world's noise fades just enough for a deeper calling to break through. That moment is now Gemini, and number 11 is the signal you've been waiting for. In numerology, 11 is called a master number, the number of divine inspiration, spiritual awakening, and visionary leadership. It's not about being better than others. It's about recognizing that you are here to live a life bigger than fear, bigger than comfort, bigger than self-doubt. In Buddhist philosophy, this is the emergence of bodhicitta, the awakened heart that desires not just personal happiness, but the elevation of all beings. It's the soul's deep remembering. I am not here just to survive. I am here to light the way. Let me tell you a story. There was a Gemini woman named Sophia who spent the first half of her life chasing the usual markers of success: degrees, promotions, accolades. She was admired, respected, envied. But secretly, she felt like a guest in her own life, as if she was wearing someone else's costume. One night, while volunteering at a small community center, Sophia helped a struggling teenager write his first college application essay. It was a small thing. It took less than an hour. But when that boy looked at her with shining eyes and said, "You changed my life," something inside Sophia woke up. In that moment, she realized it wasn't the awards or achievements that mattered most. It was impact. It was connection. It was service. From that day forward, Sophia reorganized her entire life around mentorship, community, leadership, and soul-centered work. Her outer success didn't disappear. It multiplied, but now it carried the sweetness of meaning. The lesson of number 11 is urgent and beautiful. You were not born to fit in. You were born to shine a light so bright it wakes others up. Gemini, your gifts, your quick mind, your sparkling voice, your endless curiosity were not random. They were carefully woven into your being for a reason far greater than personal gain. The world needs your brilliance, your insight, your fearless questions, your creative solutions. But above all, the world needs your heart wide open, courageous and unafraid to lead, not by domination, but by inspiration. In Buddhist teaching, the ultimate awakening isn't about retreating from the world. It's about stepping fully into it with wisdom, compassion, and clarity. You don't have to become someone else. You just have to become more truly yourself. Here's your invitation. Gemini, reflect on the moments when you felt most alive, most aligned. Notice the quiet callings that keep returning no matter how often you push them aside. Ask yourself not, what do I want from the world? But, what does the world need that only I can give? Then take the first brave step, no matter how small. Teach, create, lead, speak, heal. However your mission expresses itself, trust that it matters, because it does. Remember, you're not waiting for a calling to arrive. You are the calling. Number 11 is your cosmic reminder that the life you're dreaming of is already dreaming of you. And every time you move closer to your highest mission, the universe moves closer to meet you. Your light is not a luxury. It's a necessity. Shine it bravely. Gemini, shine it now. Part 7, number 9, the power of letting go and rebirth. Every great journey eventually brings us to a threshold, a moment where we must decide what will we carry forward, and what must we finally leave behind. Gemini, that moment is now. and number 9 stands as your silent guide across that invisible bridge. In numerology, 9 is the number of completion, release, and spiritual rebirth. It's the number that whispers, "What brought you here has served its purpose. Now let it go, so you can rise higher." In Buddhist teaching, this reflects the truth of anatta, the concept of non-self, the ever-changing nature of existence. Holding on too tightly to any identity, any possession, any story, only traps us in suffering. Freedom begins the moment we surrender our grip. Let me tell you a story. There was a Gemini artist named Jason. For years, Jason created powerful raw paintings that touched thousands of lives. But over time, success became his prison. He started painting only what was expected of him, what sold. The work that once thrilled him now felt hollow. Still, Jason clung to it. "This is who I am," he told himself. "This is what people expect. I can't just walk away." Until one evening after a gallery show, Jason sat alone in his studio, staring at a blank canvas. His hands refused to move. His heart refused to lie. In the silence, a question rose up from within. If you weren't afraid of losing anything, what would you create? The answer came like a flood-wild, raw, honest. And in that moment, Jason realized, to truly live, he had to be willing to lose everything that no longer felt true. He stopped painting for the market. He started painting for his soul. At first, some galleries dropped him. Some followers faded away. But the ones who stayed, they connected with his new work more deeply than ever before. And new doors opened wider, more genuine, more abundant than he could have ever predicted. The lesson of number 9 is this: the life you're longing for can't reach you if your hands are too full of what no longer fits. Gemini, you are a natural gatherer of experiences, ideas, people, projects. But not everything you've picked up on your journey was meant to be carried forever. Some dreams expire. Some relationships complete their sacred cycles. Some versions of you were perfect stepping stones, but are now too small to hold your growing soul. Letting go isn't failure. It's grace. It's trusting that when you release what's finished, you create space for what's next. In Buddhist practice, this is called practicing non-attachment, the art of loving, fully participating deeply, but never clinging tightly. You can honor the past without being imprisoned by it. You can celebrate what was without fearing what's to come, because every ending, Gemini, is secretly a beginning. Here's your invitation. Identify what feels heavy, outdated, or misaligned. Honor it. Thank it for its role in your journey. Then, with compassion and courage, let it go. Maybe it's a job that's drained your spark. Maybe it's a belief about yourself that shrinks your dreams. Maybe it's simply an old way of living that no longer feels alive. Whatever it is, trust this. The hands that release are the hands that receive. Remember, the phoenix doesn't mourn its ashes. It rises brilliant and new because it dares to trust in its rebirth. Number 9 is your doorway. Gemini, step through with an open heart. And on the other side, a life more true, more free, and more radiant than you can even imagine right now. Let go, rise higher. This is your time. So here you are. Gemini, standing at the threshold of something rare, something real, something written in the stars and whispered by your soul. You've walked through the wisdom of 6 sacred numbers. 7, calling you back to intuition. 5, opening the gate to freedom through change. 8, grounding you with structure and strength. 3, reintroducing you to joy without condition. 11, igniting your highest mission. 9, teaching you the power of letting go and starting again. Each number is more than just a digit. It's a doorway, a frequency, a reminder of who you were always meant to be. This is not a moment to delay, overthink, or shrink. This is the moment to say yes to yourself, to your evolution, to the life waiting on the other side of your courage, because, truthfully, the universe isn't waiting for you to be perfect. It's simply waiting for you to be ready. And ready doesn't mean you have all the answers. It means you're willing to begin anyway. So here's your final invitation. Gemini, trust your timing. Honor your calling. Release what no longer belongs. Play. Listen, rise. The sacred shift begins not on some distant day, but now, here with you. If this journey spoke to your heart, do this now. Like this video, so others can find it. Subscribe and hit the bell, so you never miss a moment of awakening, and comment below. I accept the calling of my higher self. Let that be your declaration, your contract with the universe. Your first step into a more radiant version of your life. Gemini, you were never meant to live small. You were meant to illuminate the path for yourself and for others. Now the numbers have spoken, the stars have aligned, and your time has finally come.